Before we get to any more of that discussion, it is time for Jeff Hart's Stat of the Show. Seth, roll the music.
That actually works out perfect. Give me 2 seconds. Just let me hit it. You can stand up. We're not rolling.
Are we ready?
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. And we're back.
That's right.
He always does that. Welcome to the Week 11 Friday Game Night Pick'em Show. You know us. Caleb, Jeff, Seth, Walker, and Bo. We're all here with you as we are rolling down to the playoffs in Week 11, guys. And you always fuss at me, Caleb, at the beginning of the season when I say it's going to fly by. It flies by, man.
Well, it has flown by now. I just don't want to be talking about that in week 3.
I'm just saying.
Which is what you did on Thursday Night Quarterback.
That is exactly right. Because here we are, Week 11. I mean, it's like over.
I'm telling you, wait till you get as old as I am. It goes even faster.
You got to stop with that, dude. Like, you're not that old.
I'm old.
No.
But is he? Yes, he is.
Hey.
No.
I remember when Richard
really
Nixon
not.
got elected.
Here's the thing. When you start letting somebody think that they're actually old, they think they can get away with more.
Hey,
so
the Beatles were still together when I was born.
Guys, we need to talk about something else.
Where did we get to that point?
We need to talk about something
telling
else
you how
here.
old I
Let's
am.
talk about it.
What is going on behind Walker McCreary?
Walker, where are you, dude? Is that like a apple and an orange or lime or lemon tree? What is that?
Some sort of tropical fruit that
He
I probably
is
can't
somewhere
pronounce.
putting the lime in the coconut and
He's in
shaking it all
Arkansas.
up.
You're in Arkansas.
Close, Jeff. St. Croix, Virgin Islands.
How do you spell that?
Little vacation, little beach, little Caribbean Sea.
Do we have to pay those people?
What are those folks doing behind you?
Yeah.
I imagine having a good time on vacation.
Do we have to pay them now because they're in this?
No.
Jay might not like that.
No.
You
No
can't see 'em.
faces. No faces are shown.
Okay.
Yeah, no face. So, what are you doing in St. Croix? Are you working?
A little vacation, you know. I mean, I am still working. Football
Yep.
season never ends. I'm here with you guys. I'm still working. You know, some football games back up in Virginia, but you know, there's better places to work than in Virginia, and so I went and found one this week.
So you're going to hang and do stuff with us on Friday?
I think I'll pass. I'll be in the middle of the ocean.
Wow.
I got to tell you, Jeff's been complaining about that for the last 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been total meltdown at the sports office.
He's known about it
I know.
since what, week
that
two?
doesn't
Exactly.
that doesn't mean I want to go back to the old days.
There is nothing Jeff loves more than taking a vacation, and there is nothing Jeff hates more than somebody other than him taking a vacation.
That's right.
I think you nailed it. There you go. That's
Very accurate
That
statement.
sums me up in a sentence right there.
Yeah.
But you know what, guys? The last thing I got to do before we left for Fort Lauderdale on the cruise ship, watch Lumpkin County in that massive 4 overtime win against White County. What a game!
What a game.
You're
And
unbelievable.
Did you almost miss your plane because of that?
I got close. It just kept going and going. And, I mean, Caleb and I just kept watching it, and I think the scoreboard show nearly ended before we saw the end of that game. But hey, that's a big win for Lumpkin County. And Jeff, you talk about being old. You were alive the last time Lumpkin was 8-0 to start the season, right?
None of the rest of us were. None of the rest of us were, though.
I guess I deserved that, didn't I? Yes, I think that was
you tossed the softball up for me, and I just had to.
It's out of here.
by the way,
yes, I was. 1967, I was.
Look, the score of the game was 61-55. Caleb, you came to the office on Monday with an interesting
Yeah, that is
stat.
that is the highest scoring game ever between two North Georgia Mountain programs.
What do you think about that, Walker? That's interesting.
61-55.
I knew it was the highest scoring Lumpkin County game ever combined between Lumpkin County and their opponents. I didn't realize it was all of North Georgia.
Well, just the North Georgia mountains. So we looked at Hall County, everything north of Hall County, essentially.
Pretty much our coverage area. We threw Stevens in there and Fannin, I think.
Stevens County, Fannin. I threw the Murray County schools in there, Gilmer, Pickens, all those involved.
All those that touched a mountain.
Yeah. Encompassed a pretty big area.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Hey, another crazy game was at the Granite Bowl, Jeff.
Crazy in how good Commerce is. I think that's what – look, Elbert's an excellent team. They've got a lot of speed and a lot of playmakers. We figured Baby Goat, Tyshawn Wiggins would and the other one. Huff, thank you. My brain.
Jakari Huff,
yeah. My brain. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired.
Know.
It's a long season.
And 12 shot.
But the defense of Commerce is what really surprised me, and just they were hitting people, and nobody was really open in the passing game.
Something going on in St. Croix.
Yeah,
Too much good time having.
I guess so.
That's it.
Wow. So, it was the Commerce defense, I think, that was the thing that impressed me the most in that game. I knew the offenses were going to be good. I really expected a high-scoring game, but, Commerce first 4 plays of the game, a 76-yard touchdown run by Baby Goat, and then an 84-yard touchdown run, 4 plays. And they
How many yards did he end up having?
He ended up having 288 by my count. He also had a 90-yard kickoff return, so he had almost 400 yards of total offense.
Also, an under-talked-about result from Friday night that really kind of flew under the radar. How about Union County?
Yeah.
With a bunch of injuries and things,
That was a shocking
There was
score.
a little concern that they may not make the playoffs, and they go to a good East Jackson team and put, 41 points on the board?
Something like
42?
that.
Yeah.
That was an impressive and much-needed performance because that was probably a game for a playoff spot in 8-2A.
Well, the way that region's shaping up, it probably was.
Some crazy region shaping ups, if you want to call it that. 8-4A is probably the craziest region, Caleb, as far as trying to figure out what can happen, who can happen, where they can go, and all this good stuff. And it's the drama that we love, guys, as we get toward the end of the season. But it is drama that definitely gives us a headache.
Well, I think we've gotten to this point. I think if you asked everybody who's the top 4 in the region, I think everybody would probably have the same answer for the most part, which is North Oconee, Madison County, North Hall, East Forsyth. But the thing is, we've had so much chaos.
We've had so much on that.
I think that's probably if you polled everybody what they would say, but that's what I'm getting to. We've had so much chaos in that region. We've had just enough chaos to make who's the best team almost meaningless.
Right.
Because
Cedar Shoals is right there. And
Cedar
Bluff
Shoals
is still alive.
Cedar Shoals upsetting Madison County. Cherokee Bluff upsetting East Forsyth. Walnut Grove upsetting Cherokee Bluff. We've had just enough of it sprinkled throughout the season to make these last 2 weeks really, really interesting.
It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Coming up on the show today, our guest picker is North Georgia Sports Links, Tim Whitmire. He's in a location much like Walker around the ocean.
He is in the continental United States.
He is.
Does that mean we're going to have 2 Dawson guys against our 1 Lumpkin guy? I can't wait to see how that pick
You'll have to watch the picks.
out.
And by the way, the winner last week of the picks, Caleb was at 12-1 last week. He tied with Scott Tolbert from Commerce at 12-1 also. Myself, Walker, and Seth. Yes, Seth was 11-2.
Good job, Seth.
And Jeff was 10-3. So we're gaining ground on Jeff, guys.
Okay.
We're gaining ground. Jeff's still at the top of the leaderboard. He's 2 games ahead of me.
A 1-game win is still a trophy. It's still a trophy. That's all I care about.
All right, let's get to
Do
it.
we have to make
a trophy? I didn't know we had a trophy.
No,
well,
we
if
don't
Jeff
have a
gives the trophy, we can at least cut it down to half the size it would be.
And who's the bully on this show? I mean, who is the bully on this show?
You, but I have to take my shots when I get a chance, all right? Because I don't get chances.
That was a cannon shot right there. All right, let's get to the conversation,
It
games.
went
We'll start.
over my head.
It did go right over your head. Raymond
Not
County
surprising.
at Commerce is the first game. We'll throw this to Walker first. Raymond at Commerce. If Commerce wins this game, they're the region champs. If Commerce loses this game by less than 13 points, they also win the region championship, correct?
Yes.
That sounds
That is correct.
sounds right. And I think what really impresses me about Commerce, guys, is the fact that everybody knows Jaden Daniels is getting the football, right? And Jaden Daniels still reels off, we mentioned it, nearly 300 yards against Elbert County, who beat Rabun County in Tiger just a week prior. I think that this game for Commerce is not just for the region title, but it's really to put a statement on their season as they get ready to head into the single A Division I playoffs, in that this Commerce team is a state title contender, guys. I firmly believe that, just having watched what Commerce did last week to an Elbert County team who was ranked 4th in the state and had just beaten a 9-time defending region champion Rabun County. Caleb, this Commerce team really, really good, and I don't know what Rabun can do to win this game.
Well, I do think Commerce is a real state title contender. I think Prince Avenue Christian's the runaway favorite in that classification. But once you get beneath that, I think there's a lot of teams that look pretty even to me. Commerce is definitely one of them. You asked what Rabun County can do to win this game. Well, if they play defense the way they played against Elbert County, they're going to have a shot.
Yes.
Now, if they play defense like Elbert County played against Commerce, they got no shot of winning the game. It's going to be really as simple as that. I think that Rabun County's offense will play better than what they played against Elbert County. I think they will put more than 9 points on the board. But to me, the real question is, can Rabun County's defense show up and slow down that option attack for Commerce? And when I say slow them down, can you hold them to like 30 or below? If you hold Commerce to 30 or below, Rabun's got a real shot.
I would agree with that. Like I mentioned a minute ago, the defense is what really impressed me. But the other thing that impressed me was they are not a huge offensive line, but they were blowing guys off the line. It was 4 yards downfield before an Elbert guy could even get a hand on somebody.
I think they shell-shocked Elbert County. I don't think Elbert County was prepared for the level of physicality that Commerce
and they
brought.
played as such a tremendous cohesive unit. You played offensive line, and when the whole group is everyone doing their job, right. I mean, you're almost impossible to stop, and that's what it was, because it didn't matter who carried the ball. Again, it was 4 yards before a guy got a hand on anybody, and they blew open some huge holes for some big runs. I think they can do that against Rabun. I think Rabun can counter with maybe a little more consistent passing game than what Elbert showed, and I think that's where they can win the game. I think
Ty Truelove needs to have his first real signature performance this week.
And I'll say it like I've said before over the years: if Rabun wins the toss, take the ball, take the ball, take the ball, go deep, try to get Commerce on their heels. That's because Elbert went 3 and out in their first drive. Commerce scored on the first play of the game. Elbert goes 3 and out.
Well,
Commerce scored 2 plays later, game over.
You know what's interesting about this Commerce team? It seems like they've only gotten stronger as the season's gone.
Yes.
And you meant cohesiveness, and it seems like they're more of a team.
Yes.
And when you can get that, good things happen, and they've been happening. So Rabun's going to go into Tiger Stadium on Friday with the intent, obviously,
take the
of
ball,
winning the game. But I think Coach Hollers and the Tigers are going to be ready for true love in that offense.
In Tiger Stadium.
It's going to be great.
I'm going to be there. Oh,
it's going to be a
another great place
game.
to watch a game.
All right, Gainesville at North Forsyth. This game right here is kind of for the region lead. You could say it would make a 3-way tie at the top with Lanier, Gainesville, North Forsyth. Not sure, haven't done the numbers on the plus 12, minus 12 if that is a tiebreaker or how week 12 will go. But Caleb, this series has always been kind of a weird series between these two. It's in Raider Valley. Do the Raiders have a shot here?
I think the shot for North Forsyth is to make the game kind of muddy and ugly, which is what they did in City Park last year, to be fair. I just think this Gainesville team is just a step ahead of where they were this time last year. I don't think the gap between this year's Gainesville team and last year's Gainesville team is huge, but I do think they're a step ahead. I could say the same thing in reverse about North Forsyth. I don't think North Forsyth has just fallen off the face of the earth from where they were last year, but I don't think they're quite the team they were last year. I think Gainesville is going to be able to hit some explosive plays. Gainesville really, in region play, has had this great knack of just hitting people in the mouth early and getting the game out of reach quickly. I could see Gainesville doing something similar. North Forsyth's whole goal in this game is going to be, can we force a couple turnovers? If that happens, maybe Gainesville commits some penalties. Can we just hang around as long as possible and maybe see if something can happen late? I just don't see that happening. I don't want to give away my pick early, but I kind of am. Walker, it's just hard for me to see this game being competitive for terribly long.
Well, I think the big thing for North Forsyth is they've got to be a lot more balanced on the offensive side than they have been. They've really had to resort to the passing game, which we talked to Coach Kraft about, how their young receivers have really grown up. They've got to figure out how to get a running game to make the game, like you said, Caleb, muddy and a slower scoring game. Gavin Hall's just way too much, and he's really good. I think that North Forsyth defense hasn't been able to defend spread up tempo type deep or offenses really well this year. I think that's the key, is that Gainesville's offense is just going to prove to be a little too much. Again, not to give away my pick, like you said, Caleb, but the way that Gainesville's playing right now, it's tough to pick against them.
I would agree with that. And you mentioned about struggling against spread teams. Look, once Jackson County figured it out in that game, I think give them 5 more minutes, they might win that game against North Forsyth.
Sure.
And I think Gainesville offense is, it's better than Jackson County. Thing when I watch Gainesville, the thing that I always go away after I've seen them play is just how good that defense really is. I mean, we're not talking much about that defense,
especially in the front seven.
Oh my God! I mean, they are just in every game I've seen, they've been in the backfield more than the quarterback and the running backs, and I just don't think North Forsyth is going to have an answer for that front seven. Now, that being said, you catch a couple plays, over the top early, you can make them back up a little bit. Who knows? I think I have to agree with y'all. I think North Forsyth can hang for a while, but in the end, I think it's just going to be Gainesville just has too much.
North Forsyth can't have the start they had last week against Hab. If they start slow, I mean, that's just going to be brutal. I think if you go back and you look at the opening game of the year in the Corky Kell for North Forsyth, you saw a bigger Archer team that played against, and I think what you're going to see here out of Gainesville in that front seven that you're talking about,
right,
they're going to wreak havoc all night on the Raiders. So, again, I say this series has been weird over the years, and North Forsyth leads the series, but I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting game. Raider Valley will be rocking. Can the crowd help them out? I don't know. Gainesville is just that good. All right, Loganville at Flowery Branch, an 8-4A or an 8-5A contest as Flowery Branch hosts Loganville. Gene Cathcart back in the building. An interesting Loganville team who has speaking of that.
Keep going.
But the passing game is very key for Loganville, which I think will stress out this Flowery Branch secondary. But before we get to any more of that discussion, it is time for Jeff Hart's Stat of the Show. Seth, roll the music.
Here's some things you need to know.
It's Jeff Hart's interesting Stat of the Show.
Thank you, Seth. Always a pleasure. I think we're missing out.
Where's my thanks for providing the lyrics and the vocals on that?
Well, it's the Jeff Hart Stat of the Show, so I'm taking all credit, and we definitely need to see about getting
Jeff
that
Hart's
out
stat
on
of the show today, or is it the stats
I don't know.
of the show?
I just want to know, Seth, hip hop, country, pop. Where do we put that song on the Billboard?
That's definitely Americana.
I don't know, but you're going to be the one receiving
folk music,
a portion of royalties, not me on that one. That was all me.
No, but it's got my name on it.
What's the stats of the show, Jeff?
Anyway, Jeff, what's your stat?
I got you. Look, I think the key to this is how is the Flowery Branch defense going to be able to handle the Loganville offense? Brody Hanna leads the state in passing. Ahmed, I don't know how you pronounce his last. Soiree? Is it Soiree? He's leading the state in receiving.
Probably should figure that out before Friday, shouldn't I?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, aren't you covering that game? Aren't you? Yeah, it's so yeah, you better. And look, Flowery Branch has given up 38 or more points in 3 of their 4 region games. There's going to be some points scored. Flowery Branch they're going to have to solve that problem, and they're going to have to keep up. I think they can, but I really think that's the key area. If they can somehow slow down that tandem, I think they win this game.
Well, the other thing you got to remember with Flowery Branch is they can counterpunch everything Loganville's doing there, because Jeremiah Ware and that Flowery Branch passing attack, if you just looked at the last 4 games, I'd be willing to bet that their stats are pretty on par with the things that Hannah and Soiree, or like you said, I'm not sure how to pronounce
Yeah,
his name
no.
either, but
that
I
what we're
would be
going
willing
with?
to bet that
Yeah, Soiree sounds good.
I'd be willing to bet that Flowery Branch and Josh Oliver and Jeremiah Ware have been putting up pretty similar numbers over the last month and a half or so of the season. Ever since Malik Dryden went down, Flowery Branch had to all of a sudden lead on their passing game, and something clicked at halftime of that East Side game where they just started getting Jeremiah Ware behind people, and Oliver started finding him.
Are you going to be able to afford to punt once in this game? I mean, I think that's something to be. You're going to have to think about. You might have to go for a fourth down, somewhere in the midfield, because if you just can't I don't think you can afford to give away a possession.
The more interesting thing to me is what defense is able to make a big play. When you go back to that Lumpkin County, White County game, what decided that game? It was a big defensive play by Cal Faulkner at the end, getting the interception in the fourth overtime. It's funny how that stuff works. Whenever you've got a low-scoring defensive battle, so often it ends up being who can make that one explosive offensive play that decide. When you've got a high-scoring battle, a lot of times it's who can step up and make that one big game-changing defensive play. And that could be what makes the difference Friday night against between Flowery Branch and Loganville.
Walker, you saw that last week.
Yeah, and it being in Flowery Branch, the Flowery Branch defense is going to be thriving on that crowd. But Loganville got some pretty big defensive plays late against Clark Central in that big win that they had, 3 weeks ago. I don't know which team is going to have the big defensive play. I think it's going to boil down to which team has the ball last and can they convert on the offensive side. Yes, it's about big defensive plays, Caleb, but in this type of game, it's going to come down to going back to what you said, Jeff. When the coin's flipped, if you win it, do you take it or do you take the second half to try and figure out who's going to get the ball last? That's what this game is going to boil down to. This game is going to have as many, if not more, points scored than what Lumpkin and White did last week.
Hey, I've got a question. Malik Dryden, is he back healthy? Does anybody have an answer to that?
I think he is. Should we call Courtney Newton real fast? Or would she even tell us at this
Probably
point?
wouldn't tell us.
Doubt she would tell us.
She wouldn't tell us, no.
All I can say is, Bo, I think you're going to get a good game this week.
Stop it. I feel look. I feel like if Dryden
did we
is
just jinx
healthy, you did.
Okay.
If Dryden is healthy, I feel like perhaps maybe it's the rushing attack that might be key for Flowery Branch, and I say that because if you have a high flying offense that loves to pass the ball like Loganville, you keep them off the field. If you can run against them, you keep them off the field longer. So that could be the key Friday night.
They still scored 20 last week against Jefferson, who does run the ball. So I just don't know. I don't think you can give away a possession. I don't know if you can afford to punt in this game, honestly.
All right, let's get to the rundown pick'ems on the show today as we welcome in our beachgoers who just happen to be somewhere out in the ocean world. Our guest picker this week, Timmy Whitmire from North Georgia Sports Link. And Walker is, where are you, Walker?
I'm in St. Croix. We've been over this already.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Did you already forget?
I did forget. It's been a long time since we opened the show.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. All right,
This is take how many, Seth? About 11?
Tim, where are you today?
I am located in Amelia Island, just north of the Georgia-Florida game that's going to be held this Saturday. And, guys, I'm already feeling the pressures. My peeps already told me. It says, you realize that Chris Faulkner went 12-1.
No.
11-2.
Yeah.
You're not going to let them beat you, are you?
Look, I think this is a year of Lumpkin. I hate to tell you, Tim. I just think this is Lumpkin's year.
Speaking of 12-1, Scott Tolbert, our guest picker from last week, was also 12-1. So
Who also went 12-1, Bo?
Yeah. Anyway,
Who's still in first place? I am. Thank you
but
very
that
much.
gap is shrinking.
It is shrinking.
I've cut
2
it
weeks in a
shrinking.
row, I have cut it.
That
You know
gap
what?
is receding like your hairline,
Yes.
Jeff.
Look, whether I win this by 10 or 1, a win is a win. That's all I care about. Just
there
win,
it is.
baby.
A horse
win.
is a horse,
win
of
is a
course,
win.
of course.
Seth, that was probably the best joke of the day so far. So,
Oh, well,
done.
thank you very much.
I know nobody else heard that but me, so I'll give you the credit.
It's okay. It's fine.
all right, let's get to it. Let's start at the very top here as we go to a Region 8 2A matchup. Athens Academy, Walker, at Union County.
Union looked really good last week against East Jackson, but I think Athens Academy is just too good. They get the win on the road.
Yeah, I am curious. I know Union County's been dealing with some injuries. I don't know if that has improved, if they're getting some guys back this week.
They've gotten a few guys back.
It didn't matter last week with the injuries, by the way.
I want to take them, but I think Athens Academy is just a little too good. I'll take the Spartans on the road.
Yeah, I've kind of been on Union's bandwagon, for most of the season, but Athens Academy is going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Athens Academy as well.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. Athens 35-27.
Athens.
Okay, we were waiting.
Dramatic pause.
I
was trying to figure out, there was some sort of rustling amongst the microphones. I was trying to figure out what it was.
That is the wind whipping off of the beach of Amelia Island.
The beach goers.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let me put my windscreen up. How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's comedic because I cannot see anything.
You cannot see anything. Hey, when we get to the locks later on in the show, you're going to find this one interesting. Clarkston at Johnson.
Johnson needs it to continue toward their 500 season, which I think they can get to. Their last two games very winnable. Give me the Knights at home.
Johnson had won 3 of their last 5 before having to go play a good Druid Hills team. Clarkston is not good, and this one is in the dungeon, so give me the Knights.
You saying they're bad?
Yeah, no, let's go Knights.
I said they're not good.
They're not good.
I'm going with the Knights as well. This one.
I can't put the BAD word on Clarkston.
You guys have seen the spread in this game, right?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
What is it, like 30?
32 points.
Johnson by
is
32.
32-point favorite. I'm going to take Johnson.
Yeah, give me the Knights at home.
Clarkson's only victory is over Cross Keys. People stand in line to beat Cross Keys. I take Johnson.
I don't think the windscreen helped.
No.
You got a helicopter flying overhead there, too?
Yeah.
How about that? Is that any better? How about that?
There we go. If you happen to have buried your phone in the sand, please remove it.
Okay.
I just hope the wind doesn't blow my iPad over, So.
Wow.
Fellowship Christian at Banks County.
Fellowship Christian, really good. Banks County, struggling a little bit. Give me the Paladins.
Yeah, Fellowship Christian is putting points up on everybody.
Yes.
And they will continue to put up points this week. I got Fellowship.
This is going to be ugly. I've got Fellowship in this one.
Yeah, Fellowship. And and that just makes you wonder which Raven team will we get this week, because they beat Fellowship. And Fellowship was a semifinal.
Had a good defensive performance. I mean, they gave up something like 28 points, but Fellowship also scored late in that game. It was a pretty solid defensive performance by Raven.
Raven's been up and down, but they beat Fellowship. I'm going to take the Paladins as well.
Yeah, Fellowship by 31 at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Fellowship.
Okay, Gainesville at North Forsyth in a battle for a tie atop the standings in Region 8 6A. Walker?
Raider Valley keeps it close. Gainesville pulls away late. Red Elephants roll.
North Forsyth wants this to be a muddy, ugly football game because that's the shot that they've got. I don't think they'll be able to do that for very long. I think Gainesville eventually will pop the explosive plays. Gavin Hall, Travian Watson, somebody's going to make something happen. Gainesville ends up winning this thing comfortably, I think.
Yeah, we know how it finished last year. North Forsyth controlled most of the game until late in the second half, and Gainesville pulled away at this one. I think Gainesville is the better team this year, so I think Gainesville gets a win in Raider Valley.
I will take the Red Elephants as well.
I realize North Forsyth is 7-2. They have something on Gainesville. Guys, both said Gainesville led that one, had to rally last year. This year it's in Raider Valley. That doesn't matter. Gainesville's average giving up 4 points their last 5 games. Big Red wins this one, 42-10.
That was like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I think the Red Elephants walk out of Raider Valley pretty comfortable.
I actually thought you were going to say not so fast, my friend.
I did too.
Yeah.
Boy, that was
I held back on
Hey, that was well set up, Tim. Well set up.
Habersham Central at Appalachia, kind of another key game, at least for a Habersham Central.
Jeff, I'm going to steal your line. Appalachia's bad. Habersham Central wins.
Appalachia's very bad. This is a game that Habersham Central doesn't have to win, but they really can't afford to lose, if that makes a whole lot of sense. Give me the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, Raiders in this one. I think it could get ugly.
Hab's only a 25-point favorite. I
Only.
say only.
Just
25,
only.
because I thought it was going to be much bigger than
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think it's going to be ugly as well. Habersham.
Agree. Hab Central easy.
Give me the Raiders to put the Haber slam on Appalachia.
There it is.
Walker steals a Jeff line and Seth steals a Bo line.
Heritage Conyers at Jefferson. Heritage is somewhat improved. Can they battle with the Dragons at Memorial Stadium?
Sammy Brown 250 Jefferson.
Walker, I'm gonna play off of your line a little bit here, / Jeff's line. Heritage was bad until they upset a 13-point favorite Winder Barrow last week. They're still not anywhere near as good as Jefferson. Jefferson rolls easily in this one.
Is it Winder bad?
Yeah. Sammy left, Sammy right,
No comment.
Sammy up the middle, Sammy punts it 58,000 yards. Sammy hauls in a pass.
He may not punt
He may
this
not
game.
have to punt this game.
Yeah, he's not going to punt.
Yeah. Sammy Brown and the Dragons all the way.
I'm going to take Dragons. And, Sammy did all of his damage last week, and he only played the first half.
Yeah, what?
Like 100 and something yards.
180,
and,
yeah, okay.
I think I had a pass reception for a touchdown all in one half. This is going to be ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Dragons, for sure.
Ugly.
Yeah, if it was on the road, it'd be Dragon Conyers, but it's the Dragons big in this one.
Yeah, definitely Jefferson.
Definitely would be Dragon Conyers. Loganville at Flowery Branch.
This is a sneaky good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think playing at home, Flowery Branch is going to keep this game close for a while. I just think Loganville is going to be a little bit too much down the stretch late. I'm going to take Loganville and try and pick up a game on everyone.
Yeah, I definitely think this game has shootout potential. I will say Flowery Branches seems to play a little bit better at home than they do on the road. I mean, we all remember when Winder Barrow came in there a few weeks ago, we thought that was going to be a competitive game, and it wasn't. Flowery Branch just took him behind the woodshed, and the guy who was calling that game is calling this game in Bo Wilson. So with all that said, I'm going to take Flowery Branch. Falcons don't have to win this game, but they sure would like to.
My favorite part about this game is Gene Cathcart is back in the area.
Yes.
As far as in Flowery Branch, because we all love to talk to Gene Cathcart. And if you look at the stats of this game, they are heavily a passing team. They've only rushed for 837 yards, I think is what the number is, but they passed for close to 2,600 yards. I think they're going to stress out the Flowery Branch secondary, but Branch at home, I'm going with the dark side. The Falcons get this one in a close one.
Boy, I want to take Flowery Branch. I really, really do. I feel like the way they're playing. We talked about this game before. I mean, but Loganville has the state's
Walker
leading
wants that
passer,
game.
the state's leading receiver, as we talked about. A shootout for sure, Walker. I'm going to go with the Branch because I think they really need this game. I'm going to go with the Branch.
Now
but
I have to delete
this could be
Jeff.
Yeah, look, this could be that Lumpkin game last week, 61-55, without an overtime.
Yeah.
Without an overtime, because the Branch offense has really picked it up.
I am going to call this both teams exceed 35 points in this game.
I could see that.
That's out on a limb there, Caleb.
Yeah, I looked at the scores. I mean, they've been getting up a lot of points, both teams in common region opponents. And those same opponents, they've averaged 28 points per game. Branch is going to steal some possessions. They win 38-35, but I said if Bo had picked Loganville, it had been Branch 42-14, but 38-35 Branch.
Where's Loganville?
What does that have to do with the score? I'm trying to figure out what that has to do with the score.
No one explained that to me ever either.
Yeah, Tim,
nobody explained that.
We're not going to.
You had to be there. You had to be there.
Obviously.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry
obviously.
about that. Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to go with Flowery Branch in this one as well. I think it goes late. I think it possibly even goes overtime.
Walker's all by himself.
Picked up. I said I was.
Look, he's by himself right now.
Yeah, he is. Mountain View at Buford. Does Mountain View have a shot in this one, Walker?
I think they can keep it close. Mountain View gave Gainesville a really good shot early in the season, and we know what Gainesville's doing to people now. I think Dylan Raiola is just too much. He's starting to throw the ball really, really well. I think Buford pulls away in the second half and wins this game by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, If you had asked me this before I saw what Buford did to Decula, I might have had a different answer. Now, I know Decula's bad, but that was also 66-0 in a 7A game. Buford looks angry. You remember what Mill Creek did after the loss to Buford last year, where they really were a different animal after the loss?
Hammered everyone.
We could be seeing something similar here with Buford. I'm going to take the Wolves to win big in this one.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, even though Mountain View will put up a fight, I believe. I mean, they're not a terrible team.
Nope.
However, Tom Ryden Stadium and the Wolves, as everybody has stated here, they're not happy. So I'm going with the Wolves in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buford. Although they're 34-point favorite in this game. I really thought that'd be a little lower line. So I'm not sure if it's just based off of last week's performance. But I'm going to take Buford, but that line seems awfully high in that game.
Yeah, Buford easy in this one.
Yeah, Buford as well.
All right, a interesting 8-4A matchup here. North Hall at Cedar Shoals. Cedar Shoals with that upset win over Madison County a couple weeks ago, and then Madison taking it to East Forsyth last week in Danielsville, and now North Hall goes to Cedar Shoals, and this is an interesting battle as far as Region 8-4A goes.
I think that North Hall is going to have to put up a lot of points. I think this is a shootout. I think their offense can do it. I don't think Cedar Shoals' offense is as good as North Hall's is, so give me the Trojans close on the road.
Guys, do you realize that not only if Cedar Shoals wins this game are the Jaguars in the playoff picture, if Cedar Shoals wins this game, they are very, very alive for the number 2 seed in 8-4A.
Now you're giving me a headache
Who
again.
saw that coming a month ago?
Nobody.
But that's where we're at.
How typical.
The Jaguars.
I mean,
how typical of the Jaguars.
We've seen Cedar Shoals do this before. I don't think we're going to see it this time. I think North Hall gets the win on the road on a Thursday.
He gave us
excellent
a not so
setup.
fast.
Yeah, look, North
Excellent.
Hall's on
Not
a
so fast.
North Hall's on a 2-game skid or the last 2 out of 3.
Something like that.
They go to Cedar Shoals with a week off. They're fresh. They're ready. I think the Trojans win this one.
I'm going to go with North Hall also, but everything you said about Cedar Shoals is just typical of what we've talked about all year with them. You never know what you're going to get with that Jaguars team. I mean,
Jaguars.
The Jaguars. They usually have enough talent to beat just about anybody, but they always find a way to lose games that they should win.
Yes, they do.
So I kind of feel like this is one of those times. I think they're on a roll. They see North Hall coming in. Hey, this is a game we're going to win. I think North Hall wins this game because they might be taking North Hall a little lightly.
Yeah, I see this being a 31-28, 28-27 type game. I wrote down North Hall. Then I added the Madison County factor. Cedar Shoals beat them at Cedar Shoals. They're going to beat North Hall on Friday night. Thursday night. It's a Thursday night game, right?
Yes, tonight.
Yep, that's tonight.
Tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, tonight.
Yep. All right, I'm going to Cedar Shoals.
Timelines. What are those?
What are those, by the way?
What's today? No one knows.
It's
No one knows what day today is.
We're on beach time. It doesn't matter. I don't know what day.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're on beach time.
Every day's Saturday.
Oh man, I'm going with North Hall in this one. I'm gonna go with them. They're gonna end that skid and rolling into Cedar Shoals, get the
Are
win.
we surprised he goes with his alma mater?
No, we're not.
Not at all.
Not this year.
All right, let's move on. Walker, are you going to be picking pickings over White County this week?
I'm gonna start throwing
If
something
this
at
game-
you every time you make that stupid joke. I gotta have something, a flag, a something. I'm gonna have something that hurts though. Like it's gonna be heavy. So be ready.
Check.
If the game was in Jasper based off of the emotional charged loss that White County took last week at Lumpkin County, I'd be more prone to pick the Dragons. But this game being in Cleveland, I think White County gets over it pretty quick and takes another step toward a potential 2 seed. Give me the Warriors.
White County at home. I got the Warriors.
Yeah, White County at home for me.
Yes, I'm going to take White County. I think they have a lot to play for, and I think they don't want to see that momentum in. So I'm going to take the Warriors at home.
Yeah, I've seen both teams play. White County is the superior team in this matchup. White County.
Yeah, give me White County.
Yeah, this next game here, I'm going to see if Walker is going to continue to roll with the Eagles. Providence Christian at East Jackson.
Oh.
Providence Christian put up a ton of points against Fellowship Christian last week. East Jackson struggling to figure it out in region
He's
play.
jumping off the bandwagon.
I'm not hopping out of the nest, just taking one step with the right foot out, keeping the left foot in. Give me Providence Christian, but
Shake it all
hope
about.
Yeah,
East
shake
Jackson
it.
keep it close.
Are you turning around?
Are you shaking it all about?
Did the hokey pokey too.
This whole show is hokey.
East Jackson is right now struggling to figure things out on the defensive side of the ball. They're giving up a lot of points just about every week. That is not a good thing when you're facing this Providence. You good? You tired? You a little tired?
I
there,
am
Jeff?
a little tired, yes.
A little tired? Okay.
A little tired. It's been a long season.
All right, I'll speed it along then. Providence Christian.
I mean,
in
you
a
can go
shootout.
take a nap. You can leave and take a nap if you
I
want.
would love to.
He
I'm
will.
old.
He will in about 10 minutes in the office.
I am old.
It's
Y'all
like-
keep
Sorry, I
telling me I'm old.
Sorry, I didn't know I was boring him so much. I'll try to be a
I
little
didn't
more
want to say
interesting.
anything, Caleb, but I was trying to be nice. But
Here is the way Jeff will be later in the office.
Can confirm, have seen it happen.
thank you.
Bo, who you got?
Whose turn is it?
I'm going with Providence in this one.
I think I'm going to go with Providence too. Maybe a month ago I would have taken East Jackson, but I think you said it, Walker. They are really struggling in region play.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I'm going Providence Christian as well.
Providence.
The Region 8A Division 1 championship game if Commerce wins it. Rabid County at Commerce. You saw, Jeff, what Commerce did to Elbert last week. Walker,
Wow.
what say you?
This game was in Tiger. It'd be close. This game's at Commerce. Commerce is going to win this game by 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy smokes.
Boy.
Wow.
Wow, I did not see that coming. You know what, Walker?
Look, the line's only 3, Walker.
You know what, Walker? Not so fast,
Oh,
my friend.
there it is.
Oh, here it goes.
I think Rabin County is going to get the win. However, I'm going
You
to call
did last week as well.
I'm going to call my shot here. Yeah, and they did win last week.
Yes. Yeah, they won.
Yeah, last
They
week.
played
Sorry.
Athens Christian last
That's
week.
right.
Athens
Yeah,
Christian's
so-
bad.
All right. I mean,
real
week
bad.
before against Elbert.
I'm gonna call my shot here. Rabin is going to win, but Rabin is not going to win by the needed 13 points to win the plus 13 minus 13. Commerce wins the region, although they end the season with a loss.
How about this scenario before Bo picks? They're up 7. They get the ball with a minute, and they know that they're going to win the game. Do they go try to punch it in to win the region?
Who, Raven?
Yeah.
for sure.
Because
Why
you
is that
might
even
throw
a
a pick.
question?
You might throw a pick 6 and lose the game.
Why is that even a question, though?
Well, I'm just saying.
I got Rabin to win, but
Okay.
not by enough to win the region.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Commerce
going with
wins the region.
Look, this is in Commerce. I'm going with the triple-headed monster, and Commerce is going to win this one. I think Wiggins, Huff, and Baby Goat will have another big game in this one. Commerce gets the win.
Let me tell you, we talked about this game earlier. I saw Commerce. I was very, very impressed more with the defense than I was with the offense. And I think that's why they'll win this game. The really scrappy bunch. I'm going to take Commerce at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Commerce. I'm like Walker. I think it's going to be a big win. I think it's going to be a double-digit win in that thing, probably 18-21.
Wow, that's just wow.
Huge.
I think everybody walking into Commerce has a bit of fear about them for Wiggins and Baby Goat, and I think that's definitely going to heavily apply to Rabin. I might not go as far as 4 touchdowns, but I think they're going to win it somewhat comfortably.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the final game here on the list, of which we saved this game for last because it is
This one's going to divide the room. This is a house divided
This will
game
be
here.
a divided game here. Lumpkin County at Dawson County. The Indians wanting their first ever region championship, and they can continue on that path with a win against Dawson. And we're going to let Tim go first here.
You want to let Tim go first, then Walker?
We're going to let Tim, then Walker go first in this one.
The Dawson guy and the Lumpkin guy.
And
I can't wait for this.
And so, with that said, Tim, you have the floor.
Well, as you all know, or you may not know, in the preseason game, I picked Lumpkin to win the 7 AAA title. They are going to win the 7 AAA title. Dawson's loss to Gilmer concerns me, and Lumpkin is the strongest team. I mean, Dawson's most likely not going to the playoffs. I think they've been eliminated. This is their playoff game, and Lumpkin is looking to make it official. My numbers say Lumpkin's going to win this thing 34-24, but no, it's not going to happen.
Oh.
So in honor of Walker, Dawson gets his 31-28.
That was a
This game being at Tiger Stadium scares me, to be honest with you, especially coming off from
scared.
the
Ooh,
four
he
overtimes.
looks scared. That's why he's wearing sunglasses.
The eyebrows are above the sunglasses.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, Walker's wearing
Coming off-
sunglasses.
Coming off the four
I still
overtimes.
can't see anything.
Seth, it's okay. You'll see it in post. 4 overtimes.
That's true.
4 overtimes. That scares me that Lumpkin had to get the 4 overtimes to beat White County at home. This game in Tiger Stadium. But what did Heath Webb tell us the message was going to be, Caleb, in the scoreboard show?
Beat Dawson.
Beat Dawson. That's the only thing you need if you're Lumpkin County. Beat Dawson. Region championship comes to Dahlonega. Lumpkin wins by a touchdown, maybe 10 points.
Walker, they've been saying that the last 9 years.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting.
Yikes.
I didn't know if you or Bo were going to bring that up. There it is. There it is.
Hey, I want to cede my pick to Bo, and then we'll come back to me because
Oh,
I want to
you're
get
gonna-
the other
we'll do that.
Dawson
Yeah.
County guy.
You want to cede your pick to me. Look,
Yeah.
Lumpkin's only won 4 times since 2000 in this matchup. Now, there were a couple years where they didn't play each other for some crazy reason. So, but that really doesn't matter because the last time they won, it was 2014. That's Lumpkin. The last time they won in
98, I think.
it was 98 in Dawsonville. So this game is very interesting from the standpoint of Lumpkin at Dawson. Lumpkin, on paper, should blow Dawson out of the water. I mean, they really should. Their offense is clicking. Their defense is pretty good. They really should blow them out of the water. And I think they will. That's why I'm going to go with the Indians this week in Dawsonville. Lumpkin will get their first ever region championship.
But don't you remember that 2001 game when Lumpkin come in heavily favored over that 2-win Dawson team?
I
Dawson
do remember
won
that.
16-13?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen this week, though.
All right, so I'm going to run a very late in the show edition of Did You Know with Caleb. Can we please roll the jingle?
Friggin' here we go. Did you know from Caleb?
Yeah. So, Walker, help me out here on this one. Who are Lumpkin County's 3 biggest rivals historically?
Dawson, White,
Union, would you
North
say?
Hall, Union, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
It was North Hall when I came through.
let's go with Union because that's the stat I'm going to read here. So, Dawson, White, and Union.
Let's go with Union because it's what I need it to go
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
It's
That's
what
what
I
I need.
need.
Dawson, White, and Union. Do you know how many times Lumpkin has had a season in which they beat all 3 of those, Dawson, White, and Union?
I do not know,
I'm gonna
but does
say
Caleb
0.
know?
0. It has never happened. Lumpkin has never had a season where they have beaten all 3 of Dawson, White, and Union. They have already beaten
How
Union.
long did it take you to dig that up?
More time than I want to know. So they have beaten Union. They have beaten White. This is the last one. Lumpkin's going to do it. I got Lumpkin winning and completing the trifecta for the first time ever.
Look, I think I said everything I needed to say when we previewed this game. I'm taking Lumpkin.
I'm going to pull something from last week's show. Tim, you're smoking crack. Lumpkin's going to win this thing. You're drinking a little too much at the beach, my friend. Lumpkin's winning this game.
Wow. All right.
Now that you said that, I'm going to go back to the room. 'Cause you know what's in the room.
Hey, that's it for our picks. Tim, thanks for joining us and enjoy Amelia Island and go Dogs.
Thanks.
Please stop
Go
smoking
Dogs.
while you're down there.
All right, let's get to the locks of the week, guys. And these are some interesting locks, as we alluded to in the rundown pick'em. So the pick order this week, and by the way, Jeff, myself, Walker, Caleb, all won their locks last week. The only loser, that guy, Seth. So the order of the lock pick this week is Jeff, me, Caleb, Walker, and Seth. So Jeff, how about it, buddy?
Seth, you're bad. You're bad, Seth.
Terrible.
You're bad.
Just
He's
terrible.
only 7 games away from first place,
Only.
You're
but
bad.
he is in last place.
You're
Yeah.
bad. You're
How
bad.
far is he behind in the locks, though?
That's
He's
a
4
good
and
question.
6 overall. He is 1 game behind you, Walker.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been good on the locks this year.
Yeah, that is the truth.
The problem is once you get behind, you lose the good locks, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's a spiral.
Jeff, who you got?
Who you got, Jeff?
I'm gonna tell you, I took them in when we picked them. I was stunned out of my gourd that Athens Academy is only a 2-point favorite at Union. That's going to be a 2 or 3 touchdown win for the Spartans. So I'm going to take Athens Academy, and I'll take, you can have the points.
Okay, so it's me.
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure you're the one that told everybody the pick order.
Yeah, I'm going to go in this one.
We have. You should tell our audience some of the options that we have to choose from, because there are some incredible.
Yeah,
lines.
Clarkson at Johnson's a 32-point favorite.
Right.
Gainesville's a 28-point favorite over North. Habs a 25-point favorite over Appalachia. George Walton's a 39-point favorite over Lakeview. Flowery Branch is a 16-point favorite over Loganville. That's why I'm going to go with Loganville.
Plus 16.
Yep.
Okay.
These are so hard to pick, man.
Lumpkin is a 26-point favorite.
I know, but the thing is,
we heard
Yeah.
all the stuff going on with that. With
Mountain
these
View's
guys.
a 34-point, or Buford's a 34-point favorite. North Hall's a 17-point favorite.
on the road.
And-
on the road.
And Commerce is a 3-point favorite.
all right, I'll tell you what I'm going to take. I like North Hall to win on the road, but give me Cedar Shoals plus 17 at home.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one, I think.
Solid. I've said it in the picks. I'm going to say it again now. Commerce going to win by 4 touchdowns. Give me Commerce minus 3.
That was an easy one for you,
Dang
then,
it.
huh?
I was going to take that
Simple.
one, but I didn't.
Simple.
I didn't.
Okay.
All right, Seth.
What happened to the music?
It went off.
It went off because you guys took too long.
Oh.
It always goes off. It's just oddly silent
Yeah,
this
it
time.
is. It
It's so
always-
weird. I
it
think we're all
always-
sleepy.
It's dramatic tension.
It always goes
Traumatic
off.
tension.
Yep.
Change that to a T. It's traumatic tension for me.
Okay.
Traumatic. With
Traumatic.
A U.
This whole
With a
show
U.
is traumatic
And you're
tension.
Well,
throwing
it's
a
very
U in
dramatic
there.
because you're 4-6 in your locks this year.
Yeah,
So
and you're
Okay.
behind the guest picker in the
All right,
standings.
let's see. What's our ending music here? Here we
You
go.
got to pick a
You
lock
got to pick a
first.
log first, so you can go 4 and 7.
But I want to go. Man, dude, like that's low. That's super low.
Look, I'm
That's
probably
like your
going to
winning
lose now
percentage in
because I
life.
said
All right.
Take Ham Central over Appalachia. Just trust me on that, Seth.
yeah.
Trust you?
Dude.
I don't know. You know what? I picked
Appalachia's bad.
Yes, yeah, we've established. We've established. I could either do that or I could attack that Lumpkin County Dawson game.
Why don't you take the Johnson game?
you could also pick a lock so that we could wrap up the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're already
That's
out of
another
music.
option.
I am about to fall asleep.
I'm looking for jobs, guys. Anybody in my audience that needs a videographer or needs someone to produce anything, please.
Well, right now
hit
we
me
need
up.
somebody
Right
to pick a
now,
game.
we need you
Yeah, we
to
just
pick a
need
game.
somebody. Yeah, so if somebody could
Dawson
send in-
plus 26.
Ooh.
Who?
I think it could sneak up. I think
did-
it could sneak up.
Dawson plus
Dawson
20.
plus 26.
I really wanted to take Johnson minus 32, but I don't think they can beat anybody by 32 points.
Well, they just beat Towns County by 35.
You've already picked Athens Academy,
I know.
so.
I know. I'm just saying.
Hey, if we wrap up the show, I can go back to the beach. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Roll the music, please.
Oh, that's the we need to get Walker back to his vacation.
Yeah,
That's-
so-
Rub it in a little bit more, why don't you?
So look, things are gonna sound
cold up here.
Listen, we gotta go here. Things are gonna sound a little bit different on Friday night, the scoreboard show, as the guy over here and the guy on that screen will be gone. And
I will be- I will
the
be-
other guy,
Yeah.
the other guy that was on the screen.
I will be on the tailgate show.
you
at
will be.
Smokehouse.
Yes, you will be. But the scoreboard show will be hosted by Timmy Whitmire. So that will be interesting and probably a good show. What is on the tailgate show before you run off to Jacksonville?
Well, we are going to preview the Gainesville North Forsyth game. Going to take a look at playoff scenarios around the area and have a good time getting ready for another week of high school football.
It should be a great time. Radio games coming up tomorrow night. Mountain View at Buford on AM 550. Loganville at Flowery Branch on FM 102.9. And Gainesville at North Forsyth on 94.5 FM The Lake. Also, go to the Friday Game Night page on accesswdun.com for scores, highlights, videos, stories, and more. And also follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Friday Game Night. For the entire crew, enjoy week number 11
Walker's
of high school football.
Walker's ready to go.
Got to reapply his
Bye-bye.
sunscreen.